like to welcome you all to the October 20th, 2022 regular monthly meeting of the Portsmouth City School Board. I ask you now, please stand for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. We do have two very special guests with us on tonight, and we're going to ask Dr. Bracy if you will introduce them now.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Patillo. And we do have two special guests with us this evening, and they come by way of Churchland Middle School. So at this time, I would like to, as I call your name, you can come forward. First, the Pledge of Allegiance will be delivered by Tabron Hawkins, Jr. Tabron is an 8th grade Principals List Honor Roll student at Churchland Middle School, having maintained a 4.0 GPA all during the 21-22 school year. He's currently earning straight A's in the first quarter of this school year. He is invested in committing to the Trucker Way by coupling academic success with extracurricular activities, including being a starting point guard on the 21-22 citywide champion boys basketball team and a member of good standing in the National Junior Honor Society. Tabron is committed to excellence in the community, routinely taking part in providing food and clothing to the homeless and actively participating in support of the Special Olympics. Tabron is currently undecided in his future plans, but has interest in playing in the NBA and becoming a successful businessman. The proud parents of Tabron are Mr. Tabron Hawkins Sr. and Mrs. Bonita Hawkins. And the parents, will you all please stand at this time? Next, for the school statement, Elena Childress. Elena is an 8th grade Principals List Honor Roll student at Churchland Middle School, also having maintained a 4.0 GPA all during the 21-22 school year, and currently earning straight A's in the first quarter of the school year. She's a member of the National Junior Honor Society, where she's an active contributor to the mission and goals of the society. This school year, Elena is most proud of maintaining her academic achievements by remaining on the principal's list and having excellent attendance, noting that these accomplishments will serve her well as she continues her education. Elena is an accomplished dancer with the Marine School of Dance in Chesapeake, where she has participated for 8 years. Elena is interested in attending George Mason University in the future, where she plans to study English education and become an English teacher wherever Mr. Wilson is the proud principal. Yeah. The proud parents of Elena are Mr. William Childress and Ms. Shannon Childress. If you all are present, will you please stand? And also, I would like to recognize the principal, proud principal of Churchland Middle School, Mr. Paul Wilson. Mr. Wilson, you can come forward if you want, and we'll let you have some remarks after they finish the pledge and statement. Tabron, it's all on you.
Okay. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated.
Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Bracy, School Board Chair Dr. Patillo, School Board Vice Chair Mrs. Atkinson, School Board members, Superintendent's Executive Council, distinguished guests, and parents of Portsmouth Public Schools. My name is Elena Childress, and it is my honor to represent Churchland Middle School tonight to provide you to a statement about the wonderful things happening at our school. The motto you will hear most often when asking about our school is that CHMS is our GPS for success. We believe in following the Trucker Way, which can be summarized by G, giving respect, P, prioritizing responsibilities, and S, safety first. With these expectations in mind, the Churchland Middle community prides itself on being all in for academic and social success. And when I say all in, I mean all in. There are not many places you can go in our school where the Trucker Way is not on full display. Whether it is through the hallway decor that includes our school motto and logo on every floor, the school spirit that makes it perfectly acceptable to bleed orange and black, or our committed school leaders and teachers that always push us to be our best, Churchland Middle is a place that truly cares about its students. We are not afraid to be different in order to meet the needs of our student body. This year, our administrative team began organizing Women's Den and Man Cave meetings. We understand the different challenges that face the young women and young men in our building. We find reasons to celebrate and are a proud PBIS school earning Trucker Bucks for following the GPS. Right now, we are in the middle of an intense battle between 7th and 8th grade for the brand new Trucker Spirit Stick. And a trucker favorite is earning the right to take a breather and play on the gamer bus and eat pizza for those that make the principal's straight A list. Some truckers would say that they are most proud of our 8 city championships that we are defending this year, while others would say that they are most proud of the culture of our school. Some may appreciate the commitment to community service of our National Junior Honor Society, while others may celebrate the engaging instruction that happens on a daily basis. But if you are committed to the Trucker Way, you know that we have the most pride in having the resilience necessary to navigate 2 years of transition with courage and open-mindedness and integrity. Churchland Middle School is a family, and as our principal has often said this school year, this is truly a legendary year loading. Thank you for taking the time to hear about our school. Have a great night, and go Truckers.
Thank you all both so much. Vice Chair Atkinson will now come down and present you with a small token.
Y'all right now have an amazing principal, so right about that. Just want to use this, definitely interested in dance, George Mason, the band, everything, which you got it great, so I do recommend that. Thank you for coming out. Great job. Continue with the athletes. Academics is important. You can excel. I always tell the kids I coach, you can be great if you exceed in the classroom and on the court. So I wish both of y'all the best. Thank you. Appreciate you. No problem.
I'll be very brief and just say with students like Tabrin and Elena, it is easy for me to be the proud principal of Churchland Middle School. Thank you so much for honoring our students and recognizing our school tonight. And I'm looking forward to this legendary year that's loading. Have a great night.
Thank you all so much. Agenda item 4.6 is attendance, which is a roll call. Madam Clerk. Oh, I'm sorry. 4.5 is our mission statement by our Vice Chair.
The mission of the Portsmouth Public School Division is to engage all students in learning that will foster academic excellence and responsible citizenship.
Thank you. Agenda item 4.6, attendance, roll call. Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Here.
Dr. Cotton?
Here.
Mrs. Hines?
Present.
Mrs. Shoemake?
Here.
Mrs. Thomas?
Here.
Mr. Tillage?
Here.
Dr. Whitaker?
Here.
Mrs. Williams?
Here.
Dr. Patillo?
Here.
All members are present.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 4.7 is consideration of the agenda for October 20th, 2022. I entertain a motion at this time.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Hines, second by Vice Chair Atkinson. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote. Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemake?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Tillage?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 5.1, public comment, non-agenda items. Do we have any speakers, Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir. As part of the school division's dedication to full transparency and collaboration in decision-making, the School Board of the City of Portsmouth allocates time for public comment at every regular meeting of the month to hear directly from citizens on matters of public concern regarding Portsmouth Public Schools. If you wish to address the school board, you must register with the clerk of the board ahead of the scheduled meeting start time. During public comment, each speaker will have 5 minutes to share their comments with board members. Speakers are not allowed to yield their time to another speaker, and they are not to make any formal resolutions, declarations, or proclamations as part of their comments. Speakers are reminded to maintain decorum and respect while addressing the board. Specifically, no individual personnel, student, or family should be named in comments, as speakers are at their own risk of violating confidentiality laws and/or defaming the subjects of their comments. Neither the school board, the superintendent, nor school administration will respond publicly to any comments by speakers. A written copy of speakers' comments can be left with the clerk of the board, and any matter requiring a response will be directed to the superintendent and school administration to address as needed. As the board opens to public comment, the audience is asked to be respectful of all speakers. Mr. Sergio Neal.
Good evening, school board members and the general public. My name is Sergio O'Neill. First of all, I would like to say welcome to another school year. I see that on the closed session, the superintendent's evaluation came up, and I will give Dr. Brayson my personal A+. He's always been he's led this division and brought this division a long way since he's been here. I am so excited that he has decided to stay with Portsmouth this long. I don't think there could be a better person in that seat right now. I will definitely give him his credit where it's due. And I say that in leading my comments because every time I reached out to Dr. Bracy, he's always given me a response and make sure and has ensured that things have been followed up on. There was a situation with I had, as a parent. I don't know if you all know, I have 5 bonus children at one school, and 3 of my nephews go to another school. And then I have 3 cousins at another school. So I have a total of 11 children that are family members that are within the Portsmouth Public Schools. So when things go on, I'm getting phone calls left and right, either from the kids themselves or their parents, and I try to make sure I follow up. So I can say every time I reached out, he's always been A+. I do have a question moving forward, is that there was a program that was discussed towards the end of last school year. We appreciate the school board for their interest and time in looking into a mindfulness program, a school system-wide mindfulness program, because our students really need it. We unfortunately are in some trying times in the city of Portsmouth with our youth. We are no strangers to that, and we ask continuously that our school system keep that in mind and do whatever is necessary to make sure that mindfulness takes place, because they need those minutes, no matter how, if it's 1 minute, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever the case might be, they need that time to redirect and redress and bring themselves within them, in their own moment, to take a time away from what's going on around them, because our children are facing some unseen, uncharted territory. And when they come to school, their minds are not always clear. I know me as an adult, when I wake up in the morning, my mind is not always clear because of the things that are going on in our community. I really, will hope that that program is still in place, and we are, because of the simple fact that we, the supports that are needed for our children, a lot of school systems haven't even thought of it. And I'm glad that Portsmouth was one of the leaders to say, hey, we need to do something different, to make sure that we have this in place. I would like to know where the progress is on that. We do have community partners that are willing to step in and help. because it's a very necessary tool that we need. I will also say that, I think the school board needs an applause overall as well, because from what we've experienced on one side of our city leadership and what we experience on this side of the city's leadership is two totally different things. I know everybody we have not, and when I say we, I can speak for myself, we have not always agreed on everything, but the direction that our school system has taken so far, the things that are coming into place, the overall respectability of our school board, that should be applauded as well. I think it does the citizen body good when we have at least some hope, some light, some positive influence that look forward to where we can say, hey, we do have a body of leadership that's working hard and diligently to make sure that a very special part of our city, our youth, are taken care of in our public schools. So I would like to thank you all for that. And again, if there's anything that I can do to be a partner to make sure that we continue to make mindfulness, a part of Portsmouth Public Schools, please reach out. And I thank you for your time.
Ms. Shirley Cherry.
Good evening, Dr. Bracy and school board members. My name is Shirley Pettiford Cherry, and I'm here. My granddaughter is a senior at Churchland High School, and her freshman year, it was fine. Her sophomore year, the first part of her sophomore year, that was fine. But the second part of her sophomore year is when COVID came in, which was March the 13th, 2020. So therefore, she was able to get her points. In other words, she got her grades for her sophomore year. Okay, so she got 4 credits. So then next year, still with COVID, she was able to go through her junior year, but that was virtual. So that was very hard, very stressful, but she made it through. And during that time, they were given assignments, and they did the research and got the answer and passed it in. So they got 8 more credits for that year. So with all of this in mind, now that she's a senior, so she's very excited in becoming a senior. This was, something that she lived for. This was, she was getting over the COVID 15 months of, just doing nothing, just being stressful, didn't know whether she was going to make it through or whatever. Now she's at her senior year. In her senior year, she comes home with her schedule. No one has informed me. She has 3 subjects and be graduating in January. Therefore, she's not prepared. When she had to get out at 12 o'clock, she's at Churchland High School. So she has no transportation to get home. So therefore, she gets a ride with anybody, and she's just out there, just really not coming home on time and things like that, because it's all of, free time. She'd say, well, I have to get home, and, sometime I have to send an Uber to pick her up or pay someone to go pick her up. No one informed me that this was going to happen. Now that she's all excited, running around now trying to take all of her friends' pictures because she's in her senior year. And this is such an important year for her. I mean, now she's all happy. She's buying her clothes. She's just want to get out there and be a part of her classmates, which she was deprived of that because of COVID. And now they're telling her she's graduating in January. And she's really not prepared, where she's going to go. I mean, these are a lot of students that they are putting out in January. And it's nothing out here but gangs, drugs, everything. Like I say, 15 months they were shut down, but they are not shut down now. And I don't understand why they are doing this with all of this going on as far as the gang banging. Last time when school reopened, we had 250 students that didn't come back. Could this be the same ones out here now killing and, gang banging and all of this now? And now we're going to put these children out that are not ready. They're not ready to get out. Putting them out here now in January. Most of their credits were given to them more or less. I mean, this was more auditory learners. We always been visual learners. This is the way that we learn. And to be able to, have to go through this and have my child running around, and all these other kids are going out now that they are putting out. In my organization that we work in at Norcom, a person that's in our organization, she has 2 children that are juniors, and they asking them, do you want to graduate early? And of course they said yes, but the mother said, no, I don't want you to do. She don't know what to do. I don't either. But I'm just saying that this is the second part of her senior year could be a year where she could improve her grades. We could use some of the, all these grants and things that we have out. We could use it and do entrepreneurship in the classroom. You say, well, where are we going to get teachers? Well, they really don't need to be accredited because they already have the units to graduate, but it's things that we could help them with to make them, life skills. We could work with mindfulness. We could set up, just try to think outside the box instead of just putting them out in the street, because I think it's going to be teen pregnancy could happen, drugs, gangs. What are they going to do? Everybody can't get a job without transportation, and that means that you have to leave these children home by themselves. 15 months they were shut down, but they're not shut down now. So I wish someone really think about trying to help us to be able to keep these children in school. I know, they need to let the parents know so that we can, reach out. I mean, someone come home and here she, she's all excited. And it's very hard because they were very depressed and stressed, and the situation. So I'm asking you as school board, please help try to invest in our children and try to save them. Even as I was saying before, they don't really need teachers that are, with credentials, okay. With credentials, we could use a lot of the retired teachers. We could use people that could come in and teach them entrepreneurship. They could buy things from China and be able to sell stuff at school. We could plan field trips, some incentives for them. We could just kind of think outside the box. There's a lot of money out here, millions of dollars. People are saying, we want to help the children. So maybe some of that could be partnered with our schools. We could go to city council and ask city council, can we do something to keep these children in school out of the streets? And as far as jobs, we could maybe talk to some, to get them jobs, people looking for painters. And, we could use these young people and do work studies instead of, really letting them be out in the street. I'm asking you, would you please consider keeping my granddaughter and all this rest of the kids that are looking forward to their senior year to be able to stay in school and enjoy their senior year, just like all of you, I'm sure, enjoyed your senior year. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Cherry. Vice Chair Atkinson.
How you doing, Miss Cherry?
Oh, thank you.
All right, seems like your granddaughter is a bright lady. She's graduating early, so I just want to make sure that I'm hearing your concern correctly. So am I hearing that you don't want her to graduate early?
Right, because she's not, well, she's a bright student, but because of the way that she had to learn in that auditory way, she doesn't have it. She's not really ready to meet the world right now.
Gotcha.
And I don't want her out here. And plus, I'm thinking about the other children too, other students. I don't want to see them out here, joining gangs and doing things when we could keep them in school and try to save their lives.
Gotcha. Has she expressed like her opinions? So I think she still would be able to participate in senior activities, but from her?
I don't know. Is at a distance. She wants to be a part of the senior class. Just like, when you're in school, you want to be and talk to your friends. They lost 15 months of their friendship, of their socialization, so they lost all of that because of COVID. So, they need this socialization. They getting ready to get out in the world. So where are they going to socialize? In the streets? I'm just, I'm not being facetious, but I was just saying, it's just, it's a hopeless situation. I don't understand the purpose of them doing that. I could just see that they could be getting some trades. We could talk with the Builders Association and different people that would come to our schools and work with these auto mechanics. And, we need a lot. We could do something, and they don't have to be certified. I'm sorry.
You good. Ms. Hines.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you. We're good. How old is your granddaughter, Miss Cherry?
She's 17.
17, which goes to my next question is, what is our parental contact notice? I mean, if parents aren't being, and I don't want to say aren't being, but maybe the communication between the school and home just didn't happen, and this is the schedule that she came home with. But I would also venture to say that if our parents have an option to hold students back because they feel as if their development in the younger age isn't there, why can't we have your granddaughter enroll in 2 electives for the spring semester to keep her in school and to keep that socialization going? I would think that would be an option as well. Have you spoken with the school guidance counselor? Have you spoken with the school principal before coming here? What was the discussion at the school?
Well, they are saying that, well, I really haven't spoken about the year, excuse me, because I was very surprised that they are doing this. And it's not only, I'm not here just really speaking about my daughter, my granddaughter, excuse me, but I'm speaking about the other children that are out there that parents are not speaking of, because you don't know whether you have an option or not.
And what I would really like to do is and every student situation is different. So if you could, if you've already spoken to the school, you can always call down to Dr. Cromartie's office or Dr. Wynn and get further information on that. Now, I do know that some students, they do have different situations as far as why they do decide to graduate early and do other options, but
it really wasn't a choice whether they could graduate early. They just threw this on me and told me that she will be graduating in January. And that's nothing. I'm just saying, I'm up here speaking for my granddaughter, but we have a whole lot of kids that are probably in the same predicament. I mean, we need to try to think outside the box to try to help our children.
right.
Ms. Cherry, I mean, I don't know if you are the primary parent with your granddaughter or not, but
I am.
all freshmen, when they enter, they have a plan of study. So all of this is explained to you, your graduation, the path to graduation, what they will take each semester of their 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade year. So it shouldn't be a surprise to when the student will graduate. And further, some students do graduate early. I had a discussion about that when I came to Portsmouth, because we had so many students that were finishing early. But that's a byproduct of the 4x4 schedule that allows you to graduate early. So we do have students that take advantage of our first college programs, that they go on to first college and obtain 15 to 18 credit hours for college courses or a skilled trade during that second semester of the senior year. So we have some students that want to graduate early because they're working. So those are the things that we have to consider as well.
Okay.
So I just wanted to share that with you, but if there are specific questions, like Dr. Patillo said, I would suggest if you haven't talked to the principal or the school counselor, and you have, and you're still not clear, then definitely reach out to the central office so we can discuss this further.
Yes. Okay. Well, I thank you for listening. But may I say just one more thing? The reason why this time is very different. It's not like, you go in as a freshman and, you go through all of these. But because of the pandemic is the thing that's gotten me in such a, you don't know the mindsets of these young people now. I mean, it's all, you might be speaking of some, but, you know, we have problems out here. Our kids are just stressful and, well, anyway. But thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any more speakers? Thank you so much. Agenda item 6.1, which is one of my favorite moments of the evening, is our student representative report by Ms. Akins.
Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Bracy, Chairman Dr. Patillo, and Vice Chair Atkinson, and members of the board. I'm here to talk to you today about a program that a Churchland graduate came to me and two other peers at Churchland High School to talk about. It's called the Pipeline to the Mecca, and basically the whole point of it is to help seniors go, it's the help with the easier transition from high school to college. The reason for this was because last year's graduates, because of COVID and everything like that, they feel like they're not getting that preparedness and helping with FAFSA and essay and things like that. So we really want to get it into all three high schools. Right now, it is planned to be in Churchland High School. We talked to Mr. Malachi about that. So what we would do is bring in some seniors from last year. We have seniors from, graduated seniors from UVA, NSU, Howard, and other universities to come in and kind of help and talk to seniors about outside scholarships, collegiate affairs, and just opportunities that they can have that they might not know about. So it's really just to help get the raw and uncut versions, since, you come in, you might have staff from a school come in and, talk about, we do this, we do that, but that's really just pamphlet talk. You want to know the real experience and what goes on at the school from somebody who goes there every day. So right now it is scheduled to be held at Churchland High School, November 22nd. So I will keep you up to date with that and how that goes. But right now we just want to get into all three high schools. So.
Thank you so much. Do you have any questions or comments from board members? You have no questions. You did a great job. Thank you so much.
I do want to say one thing.
I'm sorry, Vice Chair Atkinson.
I just want to say one thing. That was a great segue from to Miss Cherry's concern. So hopefully we'll be able to get that information out to her so she can get it over to her granddaughter.
Yeah, I have a link. There's a Google form that we sent out to Churchland High School students, so if anybody wants to sign up. You do have to have a certain GPA requirement, though, since it is, you want to be taking it seriously. Okay. But I will send out the link to her if she would like.
All right, awesome.
Thank you so much. So efficient. Right, agenda item 8.1 through 8.5, the consent agenda items. I entertain a motion at this time. I skipped something else again. Oh, I'm sorry. Agenda item 7.1.
Wow.
Consideration of a resolution recognizing American Education Week, November 14th through the 19th.
That was not an intentional skip.
Dr. Cromartie, not at all.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Madam Vice Chair, Dr. Bracy, members of the school board. The resolution reads as follows. Whereas as advocates for children, we work to provide opportunities for them to acquire tools, skills, and knowledge required for their success in life. And whereas the Portsmouth City School Board is desirous of maintaining our schools' roles as places of discovery and innovation, and this board is committed to ensuring that our graduates have marketable skills, and whereas the professional faculty has a duty to provide a complete and competitive education for all students, and whereas by Presidential Proclamation 5403, our nation will pause once again for the annual observance of American Education Week, November 14th through 19th, 2022, now therefore be it resolved that the Portsmouth City School Board reaffirm its commitment to public education and recognize that everyone shares a responsibility for providing a high-quality education for our children. And be it further resolved that the Portsmouth local government and citizens be called upon to continue their support of a quality education for every student. And be it finally resolved that this resolution be archived as part of the Portsmouth Public Schools School Board official record.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
And I'm sure we have someone ready to entertain or give me a motion for this resolution.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Hines, second by Vice Chair Atkinson. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemake? Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Tillage?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much. Now, agenda items 8.1 through 8.5 are consent agenda items, and I will entertain a motion for those at this time.
Move for approval.
Motion made by Mr. Tillage, second by the Vice Chair Atkinson.
Williams?
Ms. Williams, all right. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Dr. Cotton?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemake?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Tillage?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo? Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Vice Chair Atkinson, she's really bothering me up here tonight. I don't want you all to know that. She's really bothering me tonight. Thank you all so much. Agenda item 9.1 is our monthly report for curriculum and instruction. Dr. Nguyen.
Good evening, Chairman Patillo, Vice Chairman Atkinson, and members of the board, and Dr. Bracy. We have quite an extensive report in your board docs, and tonight we also have a special presentation from our Office of Special Education. We have Ms. Ava Bullitt here, who is the occupational therapist, physical therapist supervisor, and she is going to share some highlights from the Office of Special Education.
Thank you, Dr. Nguyen. Good evening, Chairman Patillo, Vice Chair Atkinson, Dr. Bracy, and the school board members. My name is Ave Bullitt. I am from the Physical Therapy, Occupational Therapy, and Adaptive Physical Education Department. And in honor of Disability Awareness Month, we created a slight video for you to watch. The therapy department, we provide physical therapy, occupational therapy, and adaptive physical education. We provide services pretty much at all the schools. We want the children to be functional in their school environment. We make sure that they can access their curriculum. We make sure they can access their building. We make sure that they can play with their peers. All students are entitled to a free and appropriate education, and we make sure that they can access the educational curriculum. We have 2 other physical therapists that go out to the schools. Physical therapy, what we pretty much deal with is gross motor skills for the students. So we make sure the students can walk, jump, run. So we provide adaptive seating and standing equipment in the buildings. We have 5 occupational therapists, and what they pretty much look at is the students' fine motor skills. Are the students able to write? Are the students able to manipulate their utensils for school? So it's a large array of skills that we address in the school system.
We're a piece of support that I think is pretty often overlooked. Other professionals who work with us and kind of see us passing by are kind of confused by our titles and think they're like, oh, OT, that's the handwriting teacher. In reality, we do so much more than that, whether it be things like fine motor skills that they possibly have trouble with, or things like sensory processing skills, even things like making sure the student can be emotionally regulated to be in the classroom.
Special needs children, they are so resilient. They have so much love, and they are so happy. They have their own individual personalities, and you just get to know the student. You love them. Without our department, children with disability wouldn't have accessibility to the buildings or the curriculums. We kind of help make it happen for them.
One student that I work with in that day can just make me laugh so hard and just change my entire mood from being busy and stressed out to being like, all right, I'm helping this child progress in their education. It makes me feel good enough where I'm just like, this is all worth it. All the stress, everything else, it's worth it.
It was an honor to share what our department do. Did you have any questions for me?
No questions. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Ms. Williams. Thank you. Agenda item 9.2, United Way 2022 Community Cares Award. Ms. Dorn.
Good evening, Chair Dr. Patillo, Vice Chair Atkinson, and School Board. I am joined this evening by Ms. Loretta Williams, who is a representative from the United Way of Southampton Roads, and she's here to present an award to Portsmouth Public Schools.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening to Dr. Patillo, I may say it incorrectly, School Board Chair. I'm trying. Dr. Bracy, Superintendent, and to the school board members and to all the guests here. I am representing, as she said, the United Way of Southampton Roads. Today we are here to celebrate Portsmouth Public Schools for the partnership and to honor you for your efforts in the annual campaign. We understand that the last couple of years in particular have been challenging time for the school systems, to say the least. Despite that, the employees of Portsmouth Public Schools and the students through student campaigns have continued to make giving back to the community a top priority. Just in the last few years, collectively, they have donated $136,409 to support local citizens here. That deserves a hand clap. Thank you. That's for yourselves. You did very well. Okay. That includes donations to more than 180 local nonprofit partners and has impacted more than 90,000 lives in a meaningful way. That support was especially meaningful during COVID, when many organizations struggled to stay open and continue serving the community. This campaign allowed United Way to provide grants and collaborate closely with organizations such as Communities in Schools, EdMark, Hospice for Children, Friends of Portsmouth, Juvenile Court, Hampton Roads, Community Health Center, Her Shelter, Portsmouth Redevelopment, Salvation Army of Portsmouth, and many more, so that they can continue serving the community. Because of this, we are here today to present you with a 2022 Community Care Awards for your efforts and engagement, and we are so proud to continue to work closely with you as a team. So will Dr. Bracy, Dr. Patillo, will you please come forward? Thank you all for your work.
And certainly thank you to all of the principals and staff members who contribute to the United Way every year and produce strong campaigns within our schools. Agenda item 9.3, VSBA Academy Awards for school board members, Dr. Bracy.
Thank you, sir. Well, each year, the Virginia School Boards Association awards board members that have participated in activities to recognize them for their level of recognition. And tonight, I will be presenting the certificates with the assistance of Lauren and Jessica. And I will read one of the certificates, and the rest of them will follow, but the levels of recognition or achievement will be different. So it says Virginia School Boards Association Award of, and this is Ms. Atkinson, Award of Recognition. This award is presented to her for your commitment to the effective school board governance through participation in the VSBA School Board Academy 2021. So congratulations, Ms. Atkinson. And for Dr. Cotton, he received an award of achievement. Ms. Hines, Award of Recognition. Dr. Patillo, Award of Distinction. Ms. Shoemake, Award of Recognition. Ms. Thomas, Award of Recognition. Mr. Tillage, Award of Achievement. Oh, is that what it? Oh. Somebody, Dr. Patillo said you're a show off. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Thanks so much, sir. Agenda item 10.1, the Superintendent Monthly Report. Dr. Bracy.
All right, good evening again, everyone. We have had quite a week here in Portsmouth Public Schools. As you all probably saw all over the news Monday, Manor High School was able to host a homecoming pep rally and parade for the class of 1990 graduate and mega super duper star. You catch that, Ms. Atkinson? The super duper. So we were happy to have Missy return. I was on hand with Dr. Patillo to share a resolution from the school board in her honor, as well as see Manor Principal, Dr. Johnson, present her with a custom Letterman's jacket. All of our school bands and cheerleaders took part in the parade and did an excellent job in representing our music and performing arts students. A capacity crowd of 3,600 spectators came out to enjoy the festivities, and it was a great day to celebrate one of our most successful alumni. As such, I need to take a moment to point out that this event simply would not have been possible without Portsmouth Public Schools. Our auxiliary services team devoted their day to being on site, handling the setup of the field and stadium, as well as countless days of requests that came in on the day of. Actually, the Friday before was homecoming, so we had to bring people in over the weekend to have them assist us get the grounds prepared for Monday. The Transportation Department assisted in managing 22 buses from area high schools and 16 charter buses, while also keeping our school bus lots clear to transport our students home from schools who remained on a regular schedule. The food service team made sure all students were fed during the day, especially from our schools who adjusted their schedules to support the traffic flow for the event. And finally, it was our PPS staff there hours after the event ended, making sure all students and performers left campus safely and were accounted for, cleaning the stadium and breaking down the field, all, I might add, and getting soaked in the pouring rain. So I want to thank our wonderful and dedicated teams for their work, their flexibility, and their commitment to making this event as successful as it could be. It was truly a great day for Miss Elliott and her family and friends that I'm sure they won't forget. Now, on to other upcoming events for our division. We are again hosting our annual Youth Risk Prevention Extravaganza. This will be the third year for the event. It will take place this Saturday, October 22nd from 12 to 3 at Manor High School. As in years past, This extravaganza will feature plenty of music and vendors, as well as information on bullying prevention, gang prevention, and substance abuse awareness. For more information, contact our Office of Youth Risk Prevention at 757-393-8411. It is October, which means we are again taking part in our annual United Way Giving Campaign. We have long partnered with the United Way to support their work in our community, and we're doing it again this year. Schools and administrative offices across the city kicked off their campaigns Tuesday, October 11th. I would like to remind you that all donations go directly into our Portsmouth community, where issues such as food insecurity and mental health resources are addressed with those funds we raise. Our campaign will conclude right at the end of the month, Friday, October 28th. Again, I encourage all of our students, staff, and families to join me in supporting the United Way, because every donation does make a difference. I will end my remarks with the last reminder for families. Our federal impact aid cards are coming. You should have received the PPS Connect message yesterday to share with you to share the process for you for this year. Cards began going home from schools yesterday. Families, please help us get those cards back to your child's school, signed and completely filled in by that Friday, October 28th. As you know, these cards help the division receive federal funding for students who are connected to a military family or live in a military or government-related housing, and for those whose families work for federal agencies. Thank you, and Chairman Patillo, that concludes my report.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll now have our subcommittee reports and board member comments, and we'll start with Mr. Tillage.
Thank you, Chair. As many of you all know, October is National Awareness for Breast Cancer. And so this month, we all wear pink to celebrate the many people who have survived it, but also to bring awareness and attention to the individuals who have lost the battle to breast cancer. This month actually marks the 25th anniversary of my maternal grandmother, who lost her battle 25 years ago. And so Breast Cancer Awareness Month means a lot to me, to help to encourage women as well as men who have fallen victim to breast cancer and other types of cancer. And so as a school division, I'm glad to see that there are schools that are participating in pink outs and helping to bring the awareness to it, because it not only affects adults, but also affects children. And so I just want to encourage our adults to make sure they stay alert, that they visit their doctors, to be able to hopefully get ahead of it. Technology has advanced very well since 25 years ago. And so there are definitely life-saving measures that are out here to help people in that circumstance. Secondly, I also want to thank Portsmouth Public Schools staff for their tremendous help on Monday with the Missy Elliott event. I want to say that Dr. Bracey, you did a tremendous job with the hiring of Lauren, our communications director. She is by far the best communications director that I have seen, as well as her team. It was tremendous. The auxiliary staff, the operations staff, it was phenomenal. And so I also want to just send a message that was kind of conveyed to me after the event from Missy Elliott herself. She's looking forward to more things to come in Portsmouth as she celebrates October 17th for years to come, and that she really felt the love that Portsmouth shared with her on Monday. So thank you all so very much, and I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much, sir. Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Dr. Patillo. Wanted to give the board a quick update. We had a CTE meeting October 12th, I believe, if I have my dates right. It's a lot of great upcoming things in the works with our CTE program, whereas board member Shoemake likes to remind everyone is VOTEC as well, for the community members that are not sure what CTE references. One, we really talked about some potential partnerships. For example, the Virginia Department of Labor and Industry has the opportunity to work with PPS to identify students and give them the opportunity to gain internships and get hands-on training, especially in healthcare and aftercare programs. We're even looking at some opportunities to mimic what Riverside currently allows with 17-year-olds to intern. That way we can, with our CNA program, have those interns that might be finished early start getting some hands-on experience. We had some talk about this similar Danville program to train shipyard workers and bringing that here, partnering with MIBE, I think I'm saying that correctly, using grant money and through their partnership with ODU to basically fill the talent pipeline that the Navy is currently experiencing with the shortage of talent. And then with new program updates, the GoTech lab, the equipment was purchased that will go in the lab at Craddock Middle School? Yeah, Craddock Middle School. So that will give our students, it will basically extend our career and exploratory programs and give our students extra hands-on just experience with the 3D printers and so forth. So that's really exciting. Our amazing CTE director, Mr. Hill, talked about just some upcoming visionary things, such as having automotive at Churchland, maybe, potential 2023, fall 2023. Gave an update on the welding program. And then something I thought was really great, it's what board member Shoemaker has been pushing, is to continue to get the education out about our CTE offerings. And for that initiative, Dr. Constance has offered to embed additional career coaches in our high school to help map out their CTE pathways, and that should give additional support to the guidance counselors and current support in the school so that we get the word out, which board member Shoemaker has been pushing that initiative for CTE for quite a while. So. Oh, and one more thing. We had our CTE meeting at Manor High School, and during that, I learned that Manor High School has an upcoming college and career fair Friday, October 28th for seniors. So that will be exciting for that school. So that's it for.
Thank you so much. Any other board reports or comments? Seeing none, thank you all for coming out tonight. Have a great evening.
Thank you.